Do you love mules? Do you enjoy learning, growing, and having fun with your equine? Have you been searching for a family-friendly event built just for mule enthusiasts? Ty Evans Mule Week is all that and more. Launching for the first time in 2025, Mule Week was a huge hit with participants. Today we're at the TS Mules headquarters to sit down with Ty himself and hear the inspiration behind the event, stories from the 2025 Mule Week, and what exciting plans he already has in store for 2026. We're going to start off by hearing what inspired Ty to start Mule Week.
Mule Week is for anybody that wants to come and advance their mulemanship and have fun doing it. It's a cool event. There's nothing else like it. It's amazing, and you know, if you want to be better and do better and learn, and then also get around great people, you know, you become who you hang out with. And so I really love the culture that started at this first year of Mule Week. It was really cool, the camaraderie, people cheering for each other, enjoying each other's company, learning from each other. And so if you're that type of person, you should be here. You should be here.
I think it's going to be really cool when Ty Evans Mule Weeks becomes the thing everybody comes to, and there's a waiting list out the wazoo to be, hey, I was here back when, on the very first week.
I've had the opportunity to present at a lot of expos and horse fairs and events like that, where basically they bring a bunch of clinicians in and they all teach classes. And I like that diversity of classes being taught and offered. I think that's a great opportunity to be able to learn. But I also wanted to integrate fun into it, like have events and competitions and socializing with our kind of people. My goal was that when anybody left, they would know everybody else and have fun and have a good time and learn. We could say it's a complaint. I don't know exactly how to take it, but a lot of people said it was hard to choose. There are so many good things to choose from, and I think that's a good problem, and I plan to have that same exact problem in the future. And there's never been anything done like that in the mule world. There's all kinds of mule cells that have clinics with it and events and competitions, but nobody's ever really done the mixture of things that we did. I did ask myself, why am I doing this? I'm used to being the clinician. I'm used to being the guy that just shows up, has all the fun, and then heads out. I don't organize events. This is the first event I've ever organized. I also wanted to have the mule competitions, and my personal favorite thing was the all-around point system. I love that. I think it was fun, and it was open for everybody. Of course, Alyssa with Mountain Build stole the show, won it all. We set it up in a way that people couldn't take themselves too serious.
Yeah.
The points paid out exactly the same whether you won the reining class, that pays 10 points for first, or you won Joe G's crazy test.
Oh yeah,
Joe did this crazy test that was just about all kinds of things in the world that nobody really knew.
Random facts that you've never even thought
Just
about.
totally random facts. Nothing to do with mules. It was just Joe G's test, okay? But guess what? If you got the best score on the test, you won 10 points. So that paid just as much as if you won the roping. You might be really awesome out there on your mule, and you might have won the reining competition, which was hard, or you might have won the trail course, which was really hard, or with cows, which is really hard, but you didn't do very good at mule shoe golf. Somebody else won that, and you know, potentially they could still beat you in the all-around. So the all-around was fun, and that gave away a buckle. Alyssa Yonker, Mountain Built, our awesome videographer, won that. My other highlight besides the all-around was the kids. There's not much for mule events that involve kids and invite kids, and I really wanted kids to show up, and it's kind of hard because it's an event geared towards education with a little bit of fun. I also want them to know that it's okay to learn and have fun at the same time. Yeah, there were kids doing the roping with Vic Lott, and that was fun seeing them all out there playing. Vic had the highest attended class of the week, his roping class. And it was awesome seeing everybody learn how to rope and practice. We set up a bunch of roping dummies, and everybody was out there swinging ropes, working at it. And then that prepared them for the actual roping competition. And if you look back on our Mule Week schedule and you notice how I set up classes, every day there was a class to assist in the buckle events. The buckle events were challenging. So the day we did cow working, Alyssa won the cow working, and that day we did a cow working class. We worked those cows earlier that day. So everybody got a chance to play around with that. The day we did the roping competition, Vic Lott and I both did preparatory classes for roping and following the dummy. And that would prepare them for that night event. The first day was a trail course, and we did obstacles that day for a clinic. So we're going to keep up that theme of we're going to prepare for it, and we're going to learn and get ready, and then we're going to compete and have fun. Giving away buckles, that's enough incentive for people to kind of work hard at stuff. You know, it's not just a little ribbon, it's a buckle. They're beautiful buckles, and I think that made it a lot of fun. And we also had some cool sponsored gifts that people give. Ben Lewis with Roman Home Tents, he gave a Roman Home bedroll for the Chris Clark bedroll ramble, and that was one of the craziest events I ever have witnessed.
I was watching it like this. Oh my gosh.
It was pretty wild. We lined everybody up on one end, and they had to get into a tarp. We called that the bedroll. No boots, no hat, and they had to lay down next to their saddle and their gear. Their mules were turned loose completely. No halters on, nothing. We turned them loose, and then Chris Clark pulled out his gun and started shooting and riled up the mules. They were running around, and then about that point I said go, and everybody had to go. You had to catch your mules, saddle up, and tie on your bedroll, your tarp to the back of your saddle, get on and go. And it was crazy. A couple people came off and hit the dirt. Weren't expecting it to be that intense. Luckily, they just jumped up and went on with it. They were just fine. So it was a pretty wild event. We're gonna have to give away a better prize. I mean, Ben Lewis, we loved your bedroll, but we're gonna have to give away a little better prize.
Would you do like an add-on?
And a buckle. They're gonna have to get a buckle next year.
Yep.
It's gonna be like some crazy, like little.
I survived
Yeah.
Mule Week
Yeah.
buckle.
Exactly.
My highlight is always the kids too. My girls love to be able to participate and really be counted, not just discounted. Oh, the kids, yeah, sure, let them go, but actually have the kids be a part of it. But then my highlight also is the camaraderie. Everybody's so supportive. The friendships that are made, all that.
It was just amazing the help that we had to put this on. Megan Mensing was behind the scenes doing all the secretary work. She was keeping track of all the scores, and she was working on the sign-ups for each day. She was just a great help with organizing it.
She did all the hard stuff.
She did the hard stuff. She kept track of those all-around points we're figuring out, and she had it real time for us, so every night we could have an updated
She had her
score.
computer up. She was doing all the things.
So we're grateful to Megan Mensing. Speaking of Megan's, also Megan Heyer. Megan Heyer fed me all week long.
All of us.
Fed my whole family all week long. So big thanks to Megan Heyer. Lisa Taka, she helped a bunch beforehand, making some banners and putting together our Mule Week gift bags and organizing all that. And then she was the welcome committee. As people pulled up, she would welcome them, say hi to them, and make them feel welcome, which she's so good at. She's always just so generous. And of course, Sweet Dave, Water in the Arena. There are so many people that helped out. Just people just filled in. We had some good sponsors. Jay Palmer with Paramount Plumbing was a great sponsor, helping us out. He sponsored a few of the buckles. One of the highlights of the week, or the fan favorite, I guess you could call it, was Nathan Heyer's farrier demonstrations and clinics. And we all learned so much. I learned a ton. He was using a lot of my mules for examples, and it was nice, good and bad. I'm really glad because we took note on all the things that we need to tune up on our mules' hooves. But I think people learned a ton, and that's just one of those things that, you know, a lot of people don't get much education on it. It's hard to get good education on hoofs and farrier work. It's either you learn it just maybe from your farrier that comes every 6 or 8 weeks or whatever, or you actually have to go to like a big school for it. Everybody requested Nathan to come back. And let's face it, everybody needs to know about the hoof. You know, no hoof, no mule. Brent Hill was our opening night musician. He was so awesome. We love Brent Hill and his wife Selena. They're so cool. Just singing great cowboy songs. It was a great way to kick off Mule Week. The last night of Mule Week, we did our award ceremony. And we had an open mic poetry or storytelling, whatever people wanted to do. It was really fun having those poems read. And you know, cowboy poetry, there's something special about it when it has a rhyme to it, and those old cowboy songs and stories told in a poetic fashion. We also had some good food. Sam Scaling, he cooked us up some awesome cobbler one night. Cobbler and ice cream, can't beat that. And then Das Cafe, they catered for us. Vic and Caroline Lott. Street tacos, that was my favorite night. And the other night we had German brats and mashed potatoes and stuff. That was pretty yummy too. So we had some good food and good music and good times, good people. Shoot, don't have anything to whine about. This place is set up pretty cool for camping too. We're only about 10 miles from a town of about 3,000. Even though we're only 10 miles out of town, camp here and it feels like you're way out in the middle of nowhere and having fun and camping back in these cedars and these junipers and stuff. It's pretty neat. And everybody had their own little camps going and little social circles. That was kind of fun each night, but we all gathered up every night. We read off the standings of the all around and talked about the winnings of the day. You know, another one of my highlights was our morning roundtable discussions. I think people learned a lot. It was great to get people together and hear different opinions, hear different experiences and different pieces of knowledge put together. We had a great opportunity to learn some packing skills from Chris Clark. He was here every day doing packing, different steps of it. So you could start the week off and finish it off and have basically taken his whole packing course, which is really awesome. And by the end of it, we had a box hitch competition. And it was so cool seeing those competitors out there all tying box hitches. And a bunch of them, well, most of them actually, had just learned that week. There's only, I think, one of them that already kind of knew about the box hitch. But most everybody learned it that week and did it that week. And it was fun to see them compete and actually tie it really fast and be efficient with it. That was fun. Chris is a great teacher. He's got a great sense of humor. He's a very happy and joyful individual, and he has a way of teaching and sharing things that helps you remember it. And you know, he's a blessing to the mule world, especially to the packing world, to people to be able to learn from him. And he's open and he's understanding and he's always trying to get better. I like that about him too. 2026 Mule Week is going to be even better. I know that's hard to do. Because 2025 was pretty awesome. You know, I was nervous about it, how it would turn out. I'm usually a really optimistic guy, very, very much glass half full guy, best day ever guy. But tell you what, before Mule Week I was nervous. I was hoping it'd come together, and it was awesome. It was better than I even thought it would be. It ran better. So as far as changes go for 2026, we'll have some different presenters that'll be here. You know, every year we are going to rotate clinicians. As long as this keeps going, we'll keep a rotation of clinicians coming and going, just so it's a different experience for people each year. So we got a couple new clinicians coming. I got Ben Longwell. He's a great buckaroo, great horseman. So he's going to be coming, doing some roping stuff, doing some cow stuff, and some horsemanship stuff. I got Daniel Dauphin coming. He's an absolute expert on bits. I like Daniel because he's not particularly biased as far as cultures and traditions go. He's just a facts guy about how bits function and work. Also got Dr. Susan Fay coming, and the stuff that she teaches is phenomenal. It takes your horsemanship to another level. She brings the science to horsemanship and explains why things work the way they do. We're gonna have a couple others come back. Chris Clark will be back packing again. Nathan Heyer's going to be back doing his farrier work. Michaela Young's going to be back. It's going to be the same format. Each day we'll do the first bulk of the day, first 3/4 of the day will be education. And the evenings are going to be fun, games and dinners and hanging out, and we're just going to have a blast. I can't wait for Mule Week 2026. It's going to be a good time. So in 2026 we're going to have a all-around buckle for the kids, sponsored by Mountain Built. and they've generously offered that. If you guys got kids out there, $1,400, get in free with a paid adult. So we'd love to have more kids come.
It was pretty great this year that some of the kids did still make it into the top 10, even with the adults.
There are some kids that did awesome this year. Little Clara on her pony, she kind of stole the show.
She did.
She did really good, but all of them did good. Emma Hire was awesome, Reagan and Ellie and Swayze and Scarlett and Andrew, they all. I'd love to have more kids come to this event and learn and do that. And Mule Weeks for anybody that wants to get better, do better, and be better.
Years and years ago, Ty wanted to start a Mule Days, a Utah Mule Days, and we kind of, we put a little thought into it, and then, in all our free time, it didn't happen. But I feel like this Mule Week has come about in like the perfect way, because a lot of times we've been to different Mule Days and events where they have certain events that you'll go out and kind of ruin all your mulemanship, do everything opposite of what we teach. So I think Mule Week is really great for keeping mulemanship in mind while doing these cool events or classes and things, but keeping your mulemanship as the priority.
Yeah, that was definitely a goal for mulemanship to be part of the events that we did. So when you compete, you're working towards something good. Now, we did have some fun events that were just kind of goofy. The bedroll race was pretty wild, and I don't think we did much building mulemanship in that event. The trail rides this year were a highlight. People loved going up on the mountain and doing that, and folks could get out and enjoy our Utah mountains here and enjoy the scenery and the stories. Horses are absolutely welcome at Mule Week. I know it's called Mule Week, and definitely our focus and everything is like doing this to improve mulemanship and do something special like this for the mule world. But horses are welcome. We had a couple horses here during Mule Week. One in particular was Holden Rasmussen and his horse, and they competed and did really well in a lot of the events. And he partook of the clinics and learned a lot. He did packing and did all kinds of stuff and learned quite a bit. So yeah, horses are definitely welcome. Donkeys are definitely welcome. We're working on getting some clinicians in on donkeys, which would be kind of fun. The costume class was awesome. It was just a highlight. We talk about all this mulemanship and stuff, and I guess part of it is being a good muleman or mulewoman is having a mule that tolerates you, and those mules definitely tolerated the costumes. The winner was Cruella DeVille, my buddy Sean, and
His Dalmatian.
His Dalmatian. They came all the way from Texas, and he won the costume class. Everybody did really good. There's some very unique costumes in there. It was pretty fun. We'll do that again. We had people come from all over the U.S. and even Europe. That was pretty cool. They flew out here. But as far as the U.S. goes, we had people from Utah and Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, California, Arizona, North Carolina, Colorado, Nebraska, Wisconsin. So, yep, they came from all over the U.S., and that was pretty fun. One of my personal favorite presentations that I got to do was with Sarah Pearson. We did a bit presentation, and we were only scheduled for like an hour and a half, and we went 2 hours, and we're pushing it, and people kept asking questions, and we could probably do multiple sessions on that in the future. But it was fun to have that conversation with Sarah there. She's an expert on teeth, knows a lot about equine dentistry. Having her there explaining, why this bit functions this way in the mouth and things to look for, that was pretty beneficial. Robert Eversole was there doing cinch building. A bunch of people made some beautiful cinches. Reed Veit did a couple demonstrations on saddles and saddle fit and how to build some saddles and how to select trees. Another one of my favorite demonstrations was Vic Lott on buckaroo traditions. He's got so many stories. Vic Lott is a great buckaroo, great cowboy, and he really loves the culture of it. And whenever you can get Vic talking about the culture of buckaroo and vaquero history, you're in for a treat. He's got a million stories, a lot of knowledge in there. Joe G did a session on saddle cleaning. That was really fun. I mean, you got to know how to clean your gear. A lot of people took their gear over there and it showed up all nasty and dirty, and by the end they had it cleaned up. Kayla Young, she drove all the way out here from North Carolina to do some presentations for us, and she had some great sessions in the round pen, some great sessions in the arena. Wes Taylor is big on the human equine connection, and he did multiple sessions and talked about that and made sense to a lot of people and helped a lot of people with those things. Ben Lewis, he's been a long-time sponsor of our podcast, our Everyday Mulemanship podcast. He is the owner of Roman Home Tents, and he came down and set up his tents and had all that going. But the highlight for having Ben Lewis here was his talks on camping tips and gear. He had a great session on choosing camp gear, and a lot of people want to go camp, they want to pack, but finding the appropriate gear for packing can sometimes be a challenge. And so Ben went over a bunch of gear, and I even took notes of things I want to get and add to my Christmas list.
There's awesome people here. It's been a great crowd. There's so much information to have. Ty has multiple clinics throughout the day where you gain lots and lots of knowledge. I've learned many tips that I'm going to take to heart here, and it's hard to choose which clinic you want to go to because he's got good things stacked on top of each other. So you're anxious, you know. And Ty, as a clinician, Ty has allowed me some time to go around and learn as well, and I think that's been amazing. So this is an amazing event, awesome information, awesome people. I highly recommend if you can make it.
It's just been an honor that I was able to kind of come in here and hang out inside Ty Evans Mule Week. What a grand time I've had. Met some awesome people, awesome mules, great teaching, great instructions, great time hanging around, great meals. Loved every bit about it. Awesome time.
You know, what I really liked about it was all the clinicians. You know, it was a kind of a real private type deal, and so you could, at a lot of these big expos and stuff, you can't really talk to the clinicians outside their deal. And this here really give access to the people to come visit. You know, I had people come and visit me at my camp, ask me questions, and that's really cool, you know, it's a real intimate thing, and I think that's what really set it off and made it for me.
The biggest thing that stood out to me at Ty Evans' first ever Mule Week is the breadth of the community and the willingness to learn from all participants and coming as strangers and leaving as friends.
Excellent experience, fabulous facility. The host is just the berries. I think the world of Ty and Sky. Great learning, great experience. Glad to be here. Thank you so much, Ty.